Ghana has recorded a total of $2,650.97 billion worth of foreign direct investment (FDI) despite the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. This represents an increase of 139.06% of the total $1,108.93 million FDI the country recorded in 2019. Mr. Yofi Grant, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center (GIPC), speaking at a press conference to present the fourth quarter 2020 investment reports, said the trend defied the anticipated steep decline in FDI flows as the second wave of COVID-19 infections threatened to cripple the country's economy. He said for the year under review, some countries that stood out as the nation's leading inward investments included China, the United Kingdom, South Africa, Australia and Netherlands. The decline was concentrated in developed countries, where FDI flows fell by 69% to an estimated $229 billion. The fall was, however, highly uneven across developing regions, including 37% in Latin America and the Caribbean, 18% in Africa, and 4% in developing countries in Asia. Mr. Grant said while Ghana had initially witnessed a plateau in FDI inflows during the first wave of infection, which resulted in lockdowns, investment saw a rebound on the back of government policy responses to mitigate the impact of the health pandemic on businesses. The total investment inflows thus peaked at $2,796.49 billion in 2020, with a total FDI value of $2,650.97 million for Ghana compared to the FDI value of $1,108.93 million recorded in 2019.
2020 was a particularly challenging year, not just for Ghana, but for the global economy. And as my Chief Operating Officer did indicate, UNCTAD estimated that global FDI flows would fall by 42%, if not more. And that is if the virus was not contained by the first quarter of 2021, we were likely to see a further drop in FDI. 2020, incidentally, was a pretty enigmatic year for us as well, because in the first quarter of the year, we had attracted about $100 million of foreign direct investment, and it was extremely encouraging. And we thought that the trend would continue. And then by end of February, March, the COVID pandemic hit globally. And indeed, our hopes were dashed, first because of the predictions of what was going to happen to FDI on the back of disrupted supply chains and trade globally. And so we expected that we would see a significant drop in foreign direct investment. But incidentally, it didn't happen like that. By the second quarter, we rather saw a leap. And by the first half of last year, 2020, we had already chalked some about $780 million of foreign direct investment. December 31st, 2020, total foreign direct investment that we had managed to register and record in our books, and that consists of what comes in through here and the other agencies that also register foreign direct investments, like the Petroleum Commission, the Minerals Commission, the Free Zones Board. And we actually had a remarkable figure of $2.650.97 million, which is $2.650 billion. Now, this was against all our expectations because of what had happened globally and because of predictions made, and I dare say is a testament to the confidence that investors have in the Ghana economy. Indeed, our numbers tell us that for 2020, Ghana, with Nigeria, attracted the second highest foreign direct investment on the continent. The first was Egypt with about $5.6 billion. Indeed, between Ghana and Nigeria, we both did about $2.6 billion in foreign direct investment.
He said with a considerable inflow of investment, some 279 projects were registered within the year, comprising 129 newly registered projects, 131 upstream development and 19 free zones activities dispersed across 8 regions, with Greater Accra registering the highest number of 231 projects.
Some 279 projects were registered between January and December 2020, and this comprised 129 newly registered projects. That means projects that were new, and that represents increase in investment. 131 upstream developments in on the back of these, and 19 free zone investments. The 279 projects are spread across 8 regions. But however, a significant proportion of 231 of these projects were registered in Accra, or recorded in Accra. They are actually in Accra. And out of these, an estimated 27,110 jobs are expected to be created from these investments.
In terms of the sector allocation of the investment, Mr. Grant explained that the manufacturing sector recorded the largest FDI value of $1,270.53 million with 57 projects, while the services and mining sectors recorded FDI values of $656.19 million and $424.32 million in that manner.
57 projects were recorded in the manufacturing sector and recorded the largest volume of FDI of $1.27 billion. The services sector with $656 million and mining $424 million. The other sectors that drew in FDI were in construction, building, general trading, export trading, and agriculture. Indeed, it was our hope that we will see a significant increase in investment in agriculture. And because we didn't see that last year, it's one of the focus areas we have this year.
On the domestic front, he said additional equity totaling $69.28 million was plowed back as investment from 172 already existing companies, whereas $250.68 million was obtained from 52 wholly Guinean-owned ventures.
172 companies that had already registered in Ghana plowed back into the economy an additional equity or cash and goods into their businesses, totaling $69.28 million. Now, this is significant because when companies come, they do their initial investment. And as they grow, some of them reinvest or add additional investment. So we thought it was important to also register what else they brought in addition to what they had originally brought in. Now, we've also seen a significant increase in the number of Ghanaian companies registering at the GIPC. And in 2020, we saw 52 wholly owned Ghanaian companies and projects valued at about $250.68 million, which is approximately 1.44 billion cedis register within the year of review. And it's very encouraging to see that Ghanaians are actually taking a serious view of reinvesting or investing in the economy.
He said the GIPC's notable efforts as the leading investment promotion agency also played a pivotal role in attracting investors. Mr. Grant expressed the center's commitment to boosting investor confidence and harness valuable investment for the country as it took a step into an era of liberalized trade under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Regional ministers have been urged to focus on the development of the agricultural potentials within their various jurisdictions to ensure adequate food security for the country. This call was made by the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on Thursday when he swore into office 16 newly approved regional ministers at the Jubilee House in Accra. Parliament earlier on Thursday had unanimously approved the President's nomination for the regional ministerial appointments. The nominees were approved on consensus after the Appointments Committee submitted its third report on the 16 regional nominees who had been vetted by the committee and recommended for approval. The regional ministers include Simon Osei Mensah, Ashanti Region, Henry Quartey, Greater Accra Region, George Boache, Ahafo Region, Justin Owusu Banahene, Bono Region, Edujan, Bono East Region, Justin Marigold Asan, Central Region, and Seth Achampon, Eastern Region. The others are Shani Al-Hassan, the Northern Region, Yidana Zakaria, Northeast Region, Joseph Makabu, Oti Region, Said Muhiz Jibril, Savannah Region, and Stephen Yakubu, Upper East Region. The rest are Richard Oben, Western North Region, Hafiz bin Sali, Upper West Region, Kwabna Ochre Mensah, Western Region, and Dr. Archibald Yao Lecha, Volta Region. The regional ministers took 3 oaths of office and were presented with instruments of office. President Akufo-Addo in his address gave notice to them to brace themselves for intensive work as they will be without deputies. He also reminded them to ensure peace within their jurisdictions, as that was the most important function they must carry out.
As you all already know, I've taken the decision not to appoint deputy regional ministers. This means you have to shoulder the work by yourselves, as I know you can. As chairpersons of the regional coordinating councils of your respective regions, and development in your regions. Another important role you play is that of chair of the Regional Security Council. You do not need me to tell you that your most important function is to help ensure peace, law, and order in your regions. All our plans and programs will come to naught if there is no peace. We must be careful and tactful in managing issues of intelligence and security.
The president used the occasion to urge the ministers to place utmost focus on agriculture within their regions to support the country's drive for food security.
This is a good time to be in charge of your regions, as you have the opportunity to help transform the regional economy. The region is the natural target for all the programs we set forth in our first term of office and are introducing in this second term to grow the national economy. In our pursuit of aggressive industrialization and value addition to agricultural produce, the regions will continue to be the focus of our drive towards modernizing agriculture, improving production and efficiency, achieving food security, as well as the profitability for our farmers.
He also advised them to work closely with key stakeholders in the region and prayed they will not let the government and the people down.
You should start by making sure you acquaint yourself with all the relevant laws and work in close collaboration with your metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives in their respective assemblies, traditional authorities, opinion leaders, religious leaders, and other key stakeholders in your regions. I have first-hand knowledge of your abilities, your competencies, and your skill sets, and I pray that you me down.
Dr. Archibald Lecha, on behalf of the regional ministers, thanked the president for the appointments and opportunity to serve the country and gave the assurance to uphold the trust reposed in them.
On behalf of my colleagues and myself, I would like to thank His Excellency to serve the people of Ghana by being part of his government for the second term. It is indeed a great privilege and favor that we promise never to take for granted. We are also grateful to the Appointments Committee of Parliament and the whole Parliament for I shall take this assignment with the seriousness, dedication, commitment, and loyalty that it deserves.
On behalf of his colleagues, he expressed their commitment to do their best in the discharge of their duties for the nation.
On behalf of my colleagues, I promise that you can always count on us. We will be your worthy representatives in all the 16 regions of our beloved nation, Ghana. We shall be available at all times to support you, to deliver on your developmental agenda for our country, and to continue to improve the living conditions of the good people of Ghana.
The Ivory Coast's ruling party and the main opposition party are both claiming victory this week, leaving the former French colony in a tense political stalemate once again. Adama Bictogo, the executive director of the ruling RHDP party, said his party had achieved its goal of securing around 60% of the total parliamentary seats. Earlier on Sunday, the center-right Ivory Coast Democratic Party, PDCI, said it won around 128 seats with its allies, stressing that will be just enough to secure a majority of the 255 seats. The conflicting claims of victory comes after the country's Independent Electoral Commission released early provisional results, but no official results have been announced. The PDCI had forged an election alliance with the center-left coalition Together for Democracy and Solidarity, EDS. The parties said their aim was to prevent President Alassane Ouattara and the RHDP from consolidating absolute power in the world's largest cocoa-growing country. The general coordinator of the opposition PDCI, Nyamke Kofi, told journalists on Sunday that his party had also captured over 128 seats and further alleged that preliminary results were riddled with irregularities. These declarations come even before the Independent Electoral Commission declared results of the legislative polls. Meanwhile, the ruling RHDP party also made the same claims of victory despite the Electoral Commission not declaring the official results in Saturday's legislative elections, which were generally calm, unlike the presidential elections of October 2020, which was marked by violence before and after the elections that killed 87 people and injured some 500. The presidential elections was boycotted by the opposition parties, and President Alassane Ouattara was re-elected with more than 94% of the vote for a controversial third term of office. In the last legislative elections in December 2016, the RHDP party teamed up with the center-right PDCI, winning an absolute majority with 167 seats. In a further twist to the uncertain political atmosphere in Côte d'Ivoire, the country faced shock and uncertainty on Thursday following the death of Prime Minister Hamid Bakayoko, the West African nation's second prime minister to die in office in less than 8 months. A close ally of President Ouattara, Bakayoko, who died of cancer a few days after his 56th birthday, was appointed Prime Minister in July 2020 after the death of his predecessor, Amadou Gon Coulibaly, Ouattara's handpicked successor. Although Ouattara named his chief of staff, Patrick Achi, as the interim prime minister on Monday, while Bakayoko was still in hospital, Bakayoko's passing leaves a vacuum for Ouattara to fill as he continues his search for a potential successor. Guillaume Soro, a former rebel leader who later led a government with Bakayoko as a minister before falling out with the current government, said he had lost a friend and a brother.